Cat Mail Co. has the cutest possible version of a launch problem. The post office works, the cats are charming, the sorting loop has already consumed nearly 10 hours of my life. I'm just not sure whether the rest of the game has made it off the boat yet. Cat Mail Co. launched on July 9th as a full release from Maracas Studios. You take over a neglected island post office, process parcels, serve customers, organize the growing backlog, and slowly uncover what happened to the postmaster who disappeared before you arrived. The official description promises a stress-free postal management game with no timers or penalties, magical nighttime mechanics, new destinations and abilities, cooperative play, and a narrative buried somewhere inside all those parcels. That is an excellent pitch, and after playing both the demo and nearly 10 hours of the full game, Cat Mail Co. has absolutely sold me on the post office. Now I'm waiting to see whether everything surrounding it can keep up. The actual routine is simple. Cats arrive with parcels they want to send. You weigh each box, check its destination, apply the correct stickers, which is very important, add any special handling labels, and place it in the right shipping area. Meanwhile, the daily boat brings packages for local customers. You unload everything, organize it around the post office, and hand each parcel over when the correct cat comes to collect it. That is basically the loop, and apparently my idea of recreation now involves unpaid administrative work for fictional cats. I'm not proud, but I am organized. The demo becomes the tutorial and first day of the full game, so I already understood the basics going in. Once the game opens up, it begins adding more destinations, package sizes, special conditions, and things you need to remember. The difficulty grows naturally. There is no sudden wall where the game drops 12 new mechanics on your desk and wishes you luck. Instead, another sticker appears, then a new destination, then another storage requirement. Slowly, your tidy little post operation begins developing the cardboard equivalent of rush hour traffic. That escalation works. I can also see Cat Mail Co. becoming a genuinely fun cooperative game. One person can help customers, another unloads the boat, someone sorts outgoing parcels, and one deeply tired player reorganizes the shelves because apparently the rest of the team believes boxes should be stored through instinct and prayer. The problem is that while the job becomes busier, I'm not always convinced the game is becoming deeper. First up is art and visual design. Cat Mail Co. is lovely. The lower poly art style is clean, warm, and readable. Parcels come in enough shapes and sizes to keep the workspace visually understandable, and the whole post office feels properly designed around its feline population. There are cat toys scattered around the mailroom. Customers have names and little personalities. The furniture, boats, parcels, and environments all fit the world. It does not feel like a normal human post office where everyone was replaced with cat 5 minutes prior to launch. That specificity matters. But visually, Cat Mail Co. is very simple. The environments are small, the textures are basic, and many of the rooms and outdoor areas do not contain much detail beyond what is needed to sell the postal theme. That is not inherently bad. The cleaner look helps keep the packages readable and stops the workspace from becoming visual clutter once the shelves start filling up. Still, the game rarely surprises me visually. The post office does not change dramatically as you progress. The daily routine keeps you inside many of the same spaces, and some of the closed doors, empty shelves, and blocked areas make the world feel less fully realized than the concept suggests. Yes, these areas will open up as you progress, but that could take a little bit of time depending on your play style, and you will be stuck within the same loop of visual identity until that happens. The cats are charming, the art direction is cohesive, and the presentation does exactly what the game needs it to do. I just do not think it pushes much further than that. Art and visual design gets a 3.5 out of 5. Next is sound design. The music is gentle, melodic, and very committed to keeping the blood pressure of this postal service under control. It never becomes too gloomy or too energetic. It settles underneath the routine and lets you focus on organizing the mail. For the first while, that works beautifully, but because each shift already follows a similar structure, I think the audio needs to do more to distinguish important moments. Morning, night, unusual parcels, story discoveries, and major unlocks could each use a slightly stronger identity. Right now, the music can contribute to the feeling that every day is blending into one very long, pleasant afternoon. Sound design gets a 3.5 out of 5. Gameplay and mechanics. This is where Cat Mail Co. has its claws in me. Sorting parcels is satisfying. Receiving a chaotic shipment, making sense of it, clearing space, and gradually creating a functional system feels good. The loop is honest about what it is, and it is much more addictive than moving pretend cardboard around has any right to be. There are also some thoughtful consequences. Parcels sent to the wrong destination can return in a later shipment muddy and damaged after their unwanted holiday. I love that. It makes the package feel like an actual object that went somewhere, experienced adversity, and came back quietly judging my professional standards. I just want more of that clarity throughout the rest of the game. Packages can be damaged or stored incorrectly, but it is difficult to tell exactly how badly you have messed them up. Refrigerated parcels can sit outside the fridge, yet there's no clear indication of how quickly they are deteriorating. At the end of the day, you receive a summary and a progression bar, but after nearly 10 hours, I still could not tell you what level I was. The game is tracking my work. I simply do not feel particularly connected to what that progress means. Yes, as that bar fills up, you might receive a key to a new room. You may receive a new sorting device, or possibly new stickers, but sometimes those do not particularly mean anything that will mechanically change the game. There really is no greater progression ladder than opening a few extra doors within the postal office. The physical handling of parcels also needs refinement. I wish boxes could be rotated more freely. Parcels sometimes snap into positions I don't want. Stickers can be awkward to place on rounded packages, and the game's understanding of available shelf space does not always match the very obvious empty space currently sitting in front of my very human eyes. A large box may fit, two smaller boxes may fit on top of it, but flip that dynamic and suddenly the shelf is called its union representative. None of this ruins the game. It just creates constant little frictions inside an activity you perform hundreds of times. And I want to be careful about the lack of serious consequences, because Cat Mail Co. openly promises a stress-free experience with no timers or penalties. That gentleness is intentional. I do not need a cat tribunal arriving because someone's aunt received a damaged lamb. But stress-free does not have to mean feedback-free. A reputation system, clearer progression, more visible parcel conditions, or stronger reactions from customers could make my decisions feel meaningful without turning the game into cat belly roulette. Gameplay and mechanics gets a 3.5 out of 5. Story and world building. This is currently my biggest question mark. The former postmaster has vanished. The backlog supposedly contains a story. At night, moonlight is meant to reveal hidden truths about ordinary parcels. That mystery is what originally made Cat Mail Co. sound like more than a straightforward job simulator. But during my opening hours, almost nothing especially strange happened. Customers began repeating dialogue, the routine continued, more parcel conditions appeared, but the narrative did not develop quickly enough to keep pulling me forward. I am saying the game could start feeding that curiosity sooner. Give me an unusual parcel, a troubling photograph, a customer who clearly knows something they are not saying, a box that starts whispering tax advice. Anything that reminds me there is a mystery sitting behind the daily routine. The game has already built a charming little world. I just want the backlog to begin revealing what is buried inside it. Special note, my character also appears to work 24 hours straight without sleep breaks or basic labor protections. OSHA would hit this island so hard the missing postmaster would reappear just to sign the paperwork. Story and world building, 3 out of 5. Technically, Cat Mail Co. has been stable. I had no crashes, major performance problems, or bugs that made me question whether the post office was being held together by packing tape. Most of my concerns are usability issues rather than stability problems. Box rotation, automatic snapping, sticker placement, unclear package conditions, and limited progression feedback all need attention, but the game itself does run reliably. It doesn't feel broken. It feels like a good little machine with some janky controls that could use clearer labels. Technical gets a 3.5 out of 5. Now for the promise check. Does Cat Mail Co. live up to the developer's description? It absolutely delivers the cozy postal routine. It is calm, it is pleasantly repetitive, the workload becomes more complicated at a natural pace, and the core act of turning a chaotic shipment into an organized workspace is deeply satisfying. The cats also help, obviously. But the larger promise includes restoration, progression, magical nights, hidden truths, new abilities, and a story buried inside the backlog. After 3 hours in the demo, Cat Mail Co. sold me the job, and I started to need those other systems to give the job somewhere meaningful to go. After 10 hours, I started to get a better depth. I started collecting little pictures and decorations and opening rooms, but I still mostly felt like a cat-eared automaton. The strict audience is players who genuinely enjoy organization for its own sake. If arranging shelves, improving workflows, processing orders, and slowly mastering a routine sounds like good brain food, Cat Mail Co. may already contain exactly what you need. This could also be a wonderful cooperative comfort game for friends who enjoy dividing tasks and creating their own little workspace rhythm. Players who need stronger story momentum, meaningful management decisions, real stakes and pressure, or progression ladders may begin asking what all this sorting is building toward. And that all builds towards value. Cat Mail Co. price is set at $17.99 Canadian. And at the time I am recording this, price. It is discounted to $15.29. It is also featured in several bundle sales, so depending on what you already own, there may be ways to bring that price down further. That is not an outrageous price. This is still a small indie game. $17 is not asking me to remortgage the post office. But value is not only about whether something is affordable, it is about whether the amount of variety, progression, and content feels complete at that price. If organizing parcels, improving a workspace, and repeating a calming routine is exactly your flavor of brain food, Cat Mail Co. may already give you enough value, especially in co-op, where the routine can become its own little shared workspace comedy. But if you are buying it for the larger mystery, meaningful management systems, magical nighttime mechanics, or a progression system that significantly changes how you play, I would want a clear sense of how much those parts evolve. At $15.29, it is easier to recommend to its strict audience. At the full $17.99, I would want to wait for some updates or possibly added content. And because it is already appearing in bundles, patience may get you a better deal and a more polished experience at the same time. Let's move on to the overall verdict. My scores are art and visual design 3.5 out of 5, sound design 3.5 out of 5, gameplay mechanics 3.5 out of 5, story and world building 3 out of 5, and technical 3.5 out of 5. That gives Cat Mail Co. an average of 3.4 out of 5. My verdict is wait for sale, or wait for a bundle that makes the value feel a little stronger. Unless you already know this particular sorting loop was designed in a laboratory to capture you specifically. And I do not mean that as a warning away from the game. Cat Mail Co. is charming right now. The routine works. The difficulty grows intelligently. The world has personality, and I kept clocking back in even while writing notes about what I thought was missing. That is a strong place to start. I just think there's still space inside the package. More mystery, clear feedback, more gentle but meaningful consequences, more reasons for one shift to feel different from the last. Cat Mail Co. has already delivered the charm, the cats, and an unexpectedly addictive postal loop. Now I want to see what else is waiting in the backlog. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please like, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers!